Over 600,000 North Carolinians are living in the coverage gap. Frontline workers, parents, veterans, all without access to the health care they desperately need. We are changing this. 2021 did not usher in a close to the health insurance coverage gap, but because of you, it brought meaningful progress. New moms will no longer lose their Medicaid coverage just 2 months after giving birth. They will now remain eligible for a full year postpartum. Low-income parents whose children end up in the foster care system will now be able to remain on the Medicaid program, ensuring access to the mental health and substance use treatment they need to get better for their children. And the 2021 budget also established an 18-member joint legislative committee to study healthcare access and Medicaid expansion. Statewide support continued to expand, particularly among conservatives. More local governments spoke out. And leadership in the General Assembly is moving toward finding a North Carolina solution to close the coverage gap. This is thanks to you, thanks to your hard work, thanks to the work of everyone with Care4Carolina. Thanks to you, Care4Carolina has become the go-to organization for both county and statewide information and data on the impact of closing the coverage gap.
Like every other county around us, we have a serious, very serious drug problem. We've gotten grant money in Graham County, and we're trying to create model programs to help the addicted population, not just in our county, but across the region, rebuild their lives. But there's one important thing that we won't be able to provide for them, and that's health care. They're going to need a lot of health care.
In this last election cycle, it was very obvious that I sponsored the bill to expand Medicaid. The headline in most of the papers in Western North Carolina said, Corbin supports Medicaid expansion. And I'm happy for a lot, not just me, but our campaign folks. I'm speaking for the campaign side now. We had a primary and a general election that we won handily. It did not hurt me. And I've got one of the most conservative districts in the state of North Carolina, so I don't buy that argument.
I ask that we consider this to be a faith matter when our citizens are denied basic rights of health care.
One tool of many, but it appears to be the most effective tool. Medicaid expansion appears to be the most effective tool to improving the health of populations and providing more sustainable health systems in rural communities.
We've got a lot of hard-working people that are working very hard to make ends meet, provide for their families. We have an awful lot of single parents in this state who are finding it very, very difficult to afford health care coverage. And it becomes a business issue when we can't keep employees consistently because they have health care issues. Then we need to address them.
I have a 100% Republican board of commissioners, and they unanimously passed to support Medicaid expansion because it's all about taking care of the citizens and helping people to be able to get the care that they need.
My dad worked every day of his life to provide my family with the best life possible. He was a small business owner right here in Western North Carolina. He was diagnosed with liver cancer, but he worked right up until he died in 2013. Without health insurance, his access to the life-saving treatment that he needed was merely a pipe dream. Closing the health insurance coverage gap in North Carolina means giving hard-working people, like my dad, a fighting chance at life. According to the American Cancer Society, the number one factor in determining whether someone will survive their cancer is whether or not they have health insurance. Right is right, and no one should die from their cancer because they can't afford treatment. We can fix this. Visit Care4Carolina.com/WNC. That's care, the number 4, Carolina.com to learn more.
You made this work possible. Thank you. Thank you to our organizational members, all 129 of you. Thank you to our steering committee and to our ever-dedicated chair, Peg O'Connell. Thank you to our Business Advisory Council and Chair Patrick Woody. Thank you to our Faith Advisory Council and Chair Reverend James Brigman. Thank you to our staff, consultants, and interns. And thank you to our amazing funders that have continued to provide the resources necessary to do this work. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who gave us your time, your talents, your prayers, and your financial support. Because of you, we will get this done. Over 600,000 of our neighbors are counting on